method of business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day, the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes, way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can, and with the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice, we never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never cared for compromise, always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, welcome to episode 7 of This Week in Pro Wrestling. This is a new show, the sister publication of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and Farrell. This is an episode where we speak nothing but pure wrestling.
Pure.
None of our nonsense that we usually go on.
Nonsense?
That's what I'm talking about.
I take offense to that nonsense. Go on.
Jimmy, happy birthday to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Earlier
Nice.
this week, Vincent
Very nice.
had a birthday.
Do you know what the number is? Because I can't say I do.
I think it's number 78.
Wow. Ooh. Man,
Check
oh man.
that real quick.
I know he's getting up into the he's not in the early 70s anymore. He was a few years back. But happy birthday to Mr. McMahon.
Do you ever think about, like, you're going to wake up one morning, you're going to find out someone passed like that, and like
Well, I just found that out recently. We had a twofer between the Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts and Rod Gilbert from New York Rangers.
Yeah, it was a rough week for you, man.
That sucked.
It was totally a rough week.
Yeah, I
for
was
you.
not into that. That was a double dip of ugh.
A double dip of ugh.
Oh, it was horrible.
Wow.
So yeah,
Well,
I'm glad
happy
Vince
birth-
is still with us and still strong, and he was on TV recently, and we love Vince. Happy birthday, Mr. McMahon.
Happy birthday to our hero.
Yeah, I love the guy. Sorry.
Happy birthday to our hero. Born in 1945. So, mathematician.
Oh, don't
what are
make
we
me
talking?
do this.
Quickly.
1945, he's 76.
76.
Yeah, how about them? You said mathematician. I am the son of an accountant for the New York Knicks.
That's why. That's why I always go to you with that
there you
information.
Go. Yeah, I wouldn't get dinner if I didn't get the math
76 years
right.
young, looking great.
Yeah, I
Vincent
think so.
Kennedy McMahon.
I think so.
We wish you many more years.
Absolutely.
You are our hero.
Thank you, sir.
News of the week, my friend.
Yeah,
Actually, our week starts on Friday, so the news of the week is the return of Phil Brooks to pro wrestling.
You mean CM Punk?
No, Phil Brooks.
No, CM Punk.
Phil Brooks.
CM Punk. What is this, butter parquet? What the hell are you doing? Anyway, the old dated reference.
In his speech,
Next.
he had some points after making his way to the ring. Punk, see, I'm calling him Punk. I should
Nice.
call him Brooks.
No,
Sat
Punk.
down in a posture, something he was almost usually known for by
Of
WWE
course,
fans.
the famous speech that he made, of course.
Then he says, I heard the chants for 7 years. I heard you. There's a lot to cover. The good news is I've got time. Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
I've got the time, and I ain't going nowhere.
Yes.
Point 3. I'm back because there's a couple of scores to settle in the locker room.
Yep.
Point 4. Punk, like old times, thanked the crowd, presented, and as a gesture of goodwill, offered free ice cream bars, a suggestion in which he had earlier made to Mr. Vince McMahon, who just had a birthday during his stint in the WWE. Punk also announced that everyone in the crowd would get an ice cream bar, a
Okay.
reference to an unfulfilled promise by the infamous WWE pipe bomb. During the segment, Punk called out Darby Allin, who was seen standing in the rafters with Sting watching, challenging him to a match in All Out.
Yep.
During his return, the promos Punk made references to the WWE when he said he was never going to get healthy, staying in the same place that got him sick. And that left professional wrestling in 2005, his last date with Ring of Honor.
Ouch.
Reaction, sir?
Ouch.
Here's your time. Here's your hero. He has returned.
My hero.
I've given you the script.
My hero.
Please let the wrestling fans know the Pharaoh's take on the great Phil Brooks.
He's CM Punk, first and foremost, when it comes to professional wrestling. Okay? I understand his real name, but I know when you call him Phil Brooks, it's laced with sarcasm.
Absolutely.
First of all. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, here we go. So, finally, and I told you I wouldn't believe it until I saw it. I've been teased on and off for 7 years, so let me see it. Okay, fine. They're saying he's showing up. Okay, the music hits. Pharaoh goes nuts. Pharaoh goes nuts. The music hit. I lost my mind. I'm like, okay, this is great. Punk walks out. Punk is thin. But Punk is definitely in shape for his thinness, and it would be silly to think that he would look the same way he did all those years ago. I still think he looks good. That's me, but I'm a mark, as you already know. So that's my disclaimer when I say anything positive about
you're not a mark. You're a fan.
You're
a fan.
And honestly, when he took off his sweat jacket or whatever the heck that thing was, I was like, okay, he's still got his arms, and I understand to you that's small arms because look at the size of your arms, and you haven't even been throwing cars around lately. So, not lately. I've been trying to keep you in check. You keep trying to do this in the parking lot out here. I'm like, would you stop? But I was like, okay, he's in shape, though. I'm not going to say he's not, and I think he's held up quite well in the world of, and I said this to you during the week, the Chris Jericho's currently is pushing towards 50. Punk is in his early 40s, and I think Punk looks fine. Okay. Now, he comes into the ring.
Well, can I just...
Yeah, sure.
I want to get your reaction.
You're getting it.
The music hits.
Yeah. I lost it.
What are you feeling inside?
Well, I'm not crying. I'll start with that.
All right, okay, but are you getting the tingles? Are you getting the sweats?
The sweats. What am I watching? Pornhub? I'm watching professional wrestling.
Okay.
Gotcha. It's
Gotcha.
professional. I got goosebumps because I've always loved Punk. I was a younger man when Punk started. I remember Ring of Honor. I remember Punk right from the beginning. I loved him when he was first coming into Vince's company. I was like, man, push him. So I've always loved CM Punk. It was, for me, a great moment. I absolutely adore the guy. I think he's got it factor beyond belief.
By the way, I want you to know, as a fan and as a fan of yours, when that night happened, Friday night, I was very excited for you.
Yeah, man.
Very excited for
Probably
you.
how I
Very
felt.
excited for wrestling fans, too,
Probably,
by the way.
Probably how I felt for you when Cena returned.
Sure.
Because that's how you feel about Cena, and where I'm at with Cena. But, look, greatness is greatness. And Punk is oozing with greatness, so when he came out and he did his speech, I thought it was very to the point. He certainly didn't stick around too long. It was less than 10 minutes, the whole affair. Talk about bam, bam, bam. The things he said, I do understand where he's coming from. I'm sorry. I will not, as much as I love Vince McMahon, I feel that no one's perfect, and I do think that Vince fucked up with Punk. I never liked what happened back then, and I gotta be honest, I don't blame Vince as much as I blame Triple H. This is my personal take. This is how I see this. I really think the real issue was with Triple H. Put him over. What are you kidding me, Triple H? Are you kidding me? In that prime of Punk, you don't put him over? Are you nuts? And you should have done it now. He shouldn't be doing this in AEW. He should be doing this on your show versus you. So that annoyed the crap out of me that happened to Punk.
Let's go back a little bit, right?
Yeah, go.
So big problems happened with Punk when he got pushed out and they brought The Rock back.
Sure.
And he, after his big long title reign, which was a wonderful title reign with some really good matches.
Sixth longest in the history of the company, which is over half a century going.
About to be taken over by the head of the table in a couple of days.
He's approaching it, not in a couple of days, but he's getting there within a few months. Within a few months.
Have to check
within
that.
A few months.
That being said, he was angry that he had to give up the title to The Rock. He was actually angry about it. Mm-hmm. Now, in anyone's right mind, okay, that was the right move to make.
Oh, from
Cena,
a business
Rock.
standpoint, there's nothing to argue
And for
about.
a fan standpoint too,
Not
And they
necessarily.
still gave him the match against the Undertaker. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was a great match. I mean, Punk came within an eyelash of actually beating the Undertaker. There were several times during that match I thought that he might get the pin and break the streak. I thought it was a great match, and Taker loves CM Punk. He loved working with him.
So think about this: if Punk again, he made this statement, and I want you to
Shoot.
I want you to again.
He made
I
a
can
couple
never. That I'm never going to get healthy staying in the same place that got me sick
Right.
to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a comment,
He's
and please.
speaking from facts, the way he felt.
Okay,
during that
so
time.
I'll say this:
It's fact to him.
That place that made him sick for 7 years,
Right, made him
afforded him the ability
Of
to go
course.
take 7 years
Of
off.
course.
Right?
Of course. Look, I don't think Punk doesn't realize that, by the way. I'm sure he does.
He doesn't seem like he realizes it.
He does it. He does what everybody else seems to do. No effing loyalty. We've talked about this already. No. What about all the crowd going, yes, yes, and he goes, hey, that's someone else's shtick. Hang out for a couple of weeks, and you'll get to have fun with that, meeting Daniel Bryan.
That was an impromptu pop.
That was excellent.
This is what makes
That guy's-
Punk great. He's quick on the stick.
Oh, he's so
Right?
quick on the stick, and he's so solid in the
Here's
ring.
where his mistake
and he's
is.
going to be again.
I will tell you here's his mistake with. You think about all these guys they've brought in. Moxley, what's he doing?
Moxley's
Yeah.
been great for them, though. He has.
But now he's gone to oblivion. And he will continue to fall down that ladder.
I'm not sure about that, but I understand your point that, like,
You know,
right now he's not red hot.
Charlotte's husband. What's he? The guy wrestled once.
Yeah,
since
that's
he's
true.
been there.
No, that's happened with a lot
So
of
here's
guys.
my thing.
They bring
CM
in.
Punk,
It's like-
if you really cared about the fans, I know the WWE got you sick, but think about if you would have came back.
Of course.
You would have finally got your WrestleMania moment. You know why?
Well-
because this WrestleMania would have been CM Punk against Roman Reigns, not The Rock. Because The Rock's not guaranteed.
Right. Well, honestly, I think that if he was going to come back, it should be with Triple H, and then, of course, the championship, with us there follow. The big storyline would have been him and Triple H. He's not going to get in the ring with Vince McMahon and bash him in the face and give him a GTS, but he would do that to Triple H, and the crowd would lose their mind.
But
if Punk got the chance to do that to Triple H, and would also dispel the rumors that Triple H was selfish towards him. Triple H could kill this all in one smart business move. Give me the go to sleep.
Well,
You know?
so Phil Brooks accomplished nothing. Here's why.
What do you mean?
Here.
What?
He'll never have his WrestleMania moment.
He's had his WrestleMania moments. He's just not happy with them. He's wrestling the Undertaker at
Again,
WrestleMania.
he wanted
is
the main-
a WrestleMania moment.
He wanted the main
like
event.
I said,
right?
he's not. It wasn't what he wanted.
And he never got his WWE ice cream bar.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, so now you got the AEW ice cream bar. Congratulations.
Wow.
How about this one?
Ow.
This one, caused a major problem with
Go
me,
ahead.
right?
Go ahead.
There's no crying in pro wrestling. So I'm watching. I've kind of the hair in the back of my neck, right?
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Punk, but I do respect what he's done for the industry.
Yeah.
And I do respect the fact that you love him so much.
Oh.
But when they pan the crowd and you see a girl crying, okay. You see some kids crying. Not that there were kids there. I'm just saying in general, right?
Right.
There's very famous moments in wrestling where
Sure.
things have happened.
Sure.
And when you go to a wrestling match, you want to boo, you want to yell, you want to
Right.
this. But they go to a crowd, they pan to this guy,
Oh,
this
no.
kid. I don't know if he's a kid.
Here
He's not
we
a
go.
kid. He's
No,
got to be
no,
17,
no,
18,
no, he's
20.
old. I think he's in his 20s.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Crying like a blubbering fool. A blubbering fool.
Like Stan Laurel?
Listen, at least Stan
Like that.
Laurel was funny.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was funny.
I'm sitting there watching, and my wife goes, "Are you kidding me right now?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Are you?" When the Miz did his thing, and that little girl, that big famous shot, she's crying.
Oh, no, she was mad.
Right? Oh, that's
she had
right,
a
she was
mad
mad.
face.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
crying. She was
Okay.
looking like, what you talking about, Willie?
This kid crying?
Yeah.
What are your
rough,
thoughts about
rough,
that? And I know
rough.
this is old news,
Rough.
but I can't get
It's
over
not
it.
that old. It's only within the last week, and this is This Week in Wrestling, so there you go. As far as what I thought when I saw that, I'm like, oh, boy. I thought about you right away. I'm like, oh, this kid's dead. This kid's going to get myrtleized on the show.
Well, Phil had something to say
Myrtleized.
about it. Phil said...
You mean CM Punk said something? Not Phil! Stop with Phil! Sounds like he's on my softball team. Hey, where's Phil Brooks?
He looks like he's on your softball team.
Oh, come on.
That guy's got more luggage under his eyes than a friggin' airplane.
Oh, holy cleanup,
So
Batman.
Phil said, coming from a guy who cried during an episode of Extreme Makeover Home Edition, I'm in no position to mock anyone with moist tear ducts. I self-identify as a cry guy. Crying is healthy, but so is farting, and it's still funny. And by the way, the crying fan sneaker company actually sent him a gift of CM Punk sneakers, which he probably heavily cried over those. Too.
No, over and into. Now he can't wear them for a week because he had to put them in the dryer. That's rough. He cried so much that the sneakers needed to be put in the dryer for a week.
What are your feelings about this kid crying?
Like I said, no, that wouldn't make me cry. What is wrong with you? No, seriously, what's wrong with you? Wow, he's back after 7 years, and I remember when he tried the UFC
All right, so
stuff.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of
it's
serious questions.
Weird to me.
The Jets win a
weird.
Super Bowl. You cry?
Wow, no, I will faint, and then you'll have to perform CPR.
Will
because the Jets
honestly,
won the Super Bowl.
Will you cry?
Nah, probably not. No. Did I ever? Dude, if I didn't cry when the Rangers won the cup I'm not crying. There's no crying in sports.
And here's the best part. CM Punk doesn't give a crap about anybody but himself. He has proved over and over and over again.
Did you try to get an autograph at the airport and he peed on you or something? What are you talking about?
He disappeared.
Hey, Phil! Don't call me Phil. He pees on you.
Well, here's the other thing, too. The other thing. Oh, he's so nice. He spent $15,000 buying ice cream cards for the bars for the whole family, for the whole crowd.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Tony Khan bought them. Tony Khan spent Daddy's money and bought the ice cream bar. Don't CM Punk bought these for me.
Yeah, and it looks like Tony Khan's daddy's going to have to buy a running back, but let's not get into that.
All right, the WWE reaction to CM Punk, the WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns spoke on Ariel.
Here we go.
Helwani from BT Sports this week to promote Saturday's SummerSlam main event against John Cena.
Right.
Reigns took a shot at the former WWE champion CM Punk during the interview.
Yeah.
Helwani, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, mentioned how Punk and the other people have talked about the past about part-time superstars returning to the WWE to get a main event spot. Again, CM Punk not getting over the fact that Dwayne Johnson was put in a main event over him. And I'm sorry, Dwayne Johnson is a much bigger star than you, CM Punk, and give it a break.
Right.
Grow up already.
Okay.
He asked Reigns...
You didn't call him Phil. At least you didn't do that.
He asked Reigns how he feels about this, seeing as how he is a full-time performer and Cena's returning to face him at the SummerSlam main event when you don't exactly know what Cena has planned for the WWE future. So Reigns says, I can see it from both perspectives, Reigns responded, but I think you said it before, that high tides raise over boats and everybody benefits. So I do not think that there's a strange threshold. I hope I'm right, but think those statements are coming from bitter people who possibly thought they were better than they really were.
Better
when
than
it comes
they really
down
were.
to it, CM Punk was not as good or as over as John Cena. Was it as good or moved the needle like The Rock? It's just what it is.
Really? You know what else is? CM Punk's more over than you've been, Roman. How about that?
Not for
And
long.
I'm a big fan of the Tribal Chief. Well, we can go with not for longs and what ifs and
Gotcha.
how
Understood.
it almost counts in hand grenades and horseshoes.
Fair enough.
But the way it goes is that you really can't say shit about CM Punk because he's moved the needle more than you, my friend. And I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer already, and I'm a huge fan of yours. But as far as your taking a leak on CM Punk, doesn't work for me, man. Doesn't work for me. You know, of course John Cena's a bigger star than CM Punk. Of course The Rock's a bigger star. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Chris Jericho. John Cena, but I'm starting to run out of names. And I don't know if I can really name too many more.
Ric Flair.
Okay, there's
Dusty Rhodes.
Nope. Dusty Rhodes times 10 is more over than CM Punk. Times 10, he's more over than CM Punk. Okay, so when you say Dusty Rhodes, fine, but don't tell me Mil Mascaras.
I did say.
Don't tell me Pedro Morales.
Didn't
Notice
say
the
Pedro
greatness of the names I'm throwing at you right
Understood.
now. Don't tell me Stan Hansen.
Bruno Sammartino.
You know what? That hurts, but I'm going to go with Bruno. Gotta go with Bruno, right? But as far as star factor or numbers or cash or business, Punk is high on the list, Mike. You know it. You know it. He's one of the all-time cash
Here's
drawers,
where I can't argue. The result of all this, AEW Rampage rating, CM Punk Returns draws a massive number with over 1 million viewers.
There you go.
And by the way,
there you go.
Dynamite just came back, 1.17.
Dude, are you serious? Are you serious?
I can't argue the point.
Wow, that's up there.
SummerSlam, the return of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar made his return to the WWE after Roman Reigns' win over John Cena. Lesnar made his way to the ring before staring Reigns down.
That's like starring Roman Reigns staring.
Lesnar nodded at Reigns before Reigns ducked out of the ring as he's being urged by Paul Heyman. Reigns held up the title as he walked up the entrance ramp as Lesnar posed in the ring.
Great. Freaking loved it. How'd you feel when you heard Brock's music? To me, yeah.
Huge.
Goosebumps again.
Goosebumps
No crying,
again.
though.
No crying.
No crying. You know,
Working out.
Yeah.
No crying.
Love the look.
Love the look.
Look at that look.
Where does that go from here, bro?
You give him Thor's hammer and let him murder the entire company. Man, he looks like Thor.
Here we go. Does he stay heel and he joins Roman Reigns with Heyman, or does he go against Roman Reigns? Which way does this go?
Well, I thought it was very, very telling that, and it's interesting, in real life, Brock Lesnar does not like people. He has said it. He is honest about it. He's a private guy, and he doesn't care for people. He likes to be left the fuck alone. This is a very telling sign to me that he's a face for now, but won't change his bludgeoning ways. He's not going to change how he is towards his opponent. He's going to crush everybody. Same Brock, but he's definitely a face because when he left the ring, he was slapping the hands of the fans. I have never seen Brock Lesnar acknowledge fans in such a friendly way. So I thought to myself, well, he's definitely going to be a good guy for now. But I smell a huge twist coming. I don't know when or exactly how, but I can feel it, and it involves, I'm just an advocate. So something wicked this way shall come eventually, and I'm going to love every second of it.
I think it could go either way, and either way will be good.
Amazing that he's back.
On the other hand,
smart too.
The WWE brings back Becky Lynch.
Another smart thing.
Who ends up defeating...
Yep. Loved it.
The fans are flipping out.
Yeah, I know that they're flipping out. But Bianca Belair is an excellent wrestler.
26 seconds, bro.
That I don't necessarily agree with. By the way, right off the bat, let me just ask you before we get any further into this: how did you feel about the squash? It's 26 seconds. I'm not a fan of that. So I understand why the fans would be mad about that.
I think it was an audible. But again, for the fans to sit there and go, "Oh my God, they just destroyed Bianca Belair."
They didn't destroy her career.
Destroy Bianca Belair.
They did not destroy her career, and she will continue to be great.
And again, this gives the opportunity for Belair to join her husband, the Street Profits.
Yes. Okay.
And for Naomi to join the Usos. Ooh. And you could start a 6-mix feud that could last months and be very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Just going to take place on SmackDown?
Yes.
Okay.
SmackDown is loaded, dude.
Yeah, I can see this.
Rumor has it Becky's turning heel, which to me, again, I don't know why everybody...
I heard she insisted.
I don't know why everybody's shocked. Her husband is a heel.
Yeah.
So why would you have a face and everybody knows it together?
What do you think, she can't play it? Of course she can.
Dude.
Becky's great.
The problem is they need more face women.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. But it ain't gonna be that. It ain't gonna be the one in the mask.
The result, WWE SummerSlam, was the most viewed and highest grossing pay-per-view in history. More people watched Saturday's event live across Peacock and the WWE network than any other SummerSlam in the company's history.
Wow.
The 7-figure global audience marked a 55% increase over 2020 and a 29% increase over 2019.
What about the live crowd?
The sellout crowd, 51,326, broke a SummerSlam indoor record.
Fantastic.
Merchandise sales posted an increase of 155% over 2019.
155%.
And notice they're not comparing it to 2020.
Wait a minute, 155%.
When we had live wrestling.
Right. Man, they're ruining everything.
They're ruining it.
Yeah, tell that to the cash register. What? That's insane, man. That's crazy.
So I would say both events.
Whoa, wait a minute. Can I throw this in?
Sure.
Because I love, by the way, excellent preparation, my friend. With more than 4 million views. Brock Lesnar's return became WWE's most watched Instagram video of all time, surpassing the video of John Cena's return at Money in the Bank. 4 million watches.
Unreal.
Brock, this was, by the way, this week in wrestling was fantastic for you, for me, for the people watching this show. This was such a winning week because we got 2 companies now that are actually giving us a real reason to watch both. This, and it's been a long time since I could say that, and I'm being dead honest here, man. This past week, for those out there who are complaining about this, what exactly do you want anyway? We had a tremendous weekend with WWE. We had a tremendous week with AEW. We win. And that's my take on that.
And I'm not going to say anything after that comment because that is exactly what everybody should be feeling. Anyway, enjoy SmackDown. Enjoy next week's wrestling. We'll catch you next Friday at 7 p.m. This Week in Professional Wrestling, hosted by Mike Monty.
This is the Pharaoh. And until episode 8, later.